Downtown, I got that heat, let's go.
Hey, SMT Nation, what is going on, y'alls? Happy Monday to you. I don't know what you guys are doing before this went live, but you made a great decision. Yeah, baby. Yeah. We got the podcast for you tonight. This is a special edition, a random one. The only time we ever do podcasts is on the scheduled day, which is usually on like a Friday, sometimes a Sunday. And if we do them any other day, it's because something big happened in wireless. I think today qualifies. Two things that we're going to be covering today. I will get to those details shortly, but I do want to thank a couple of people. Big special shout outs to Drew and Savak. I really hope I pronounced that correctly. I want to give a special shout out to Savak because Savak offered a Venmo donation today. Thank you so much for that kind and generous donation. We appreciate it greatly. For those of you that would like to donate to the channel, you are never obligated to do so, but if you would like to, there are links in the description box for donations. Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. We do the whole thing. Everybody's been asking me for those links, so there you go. Thank you for that. You can also leave donations in the form of super chats if that's what you want to do. You guys are amazing. You've always been so supportive of me. Being here to watch, liking the video, sharing it, putting it out on your socials. That does enough for the channel, but should you feel compelled to do so, you could donate if you like. Thank you. Also, special shout out to Drew, the newest patron over on the Patreon page. Drew, a formal welcome to you, and we're glad that you have become a part of that community. There is a link in the description box for the Patreon page. Please do check it out. If you like what we're doing on the YouTube side of things, and you want to kick it up a notch, take it to the next level, consider that. We've got a few different tiers. Come in as low as $1 donation monthly, all the way up to $5 for the Sneed Army tier. All types of perks and exclusives and early access and all those great things. So do check that out. Also, the audio-only podcast is now live on like 1,000 different platforms. Okay, I'm lying. Just kidding. It's like 8 or 9. So if you do like these podcasts, but you want kind of like a sort of an abbreviated version of it, and you don't want to do the whole like video thing with YouTube or whatever, it's pronounced Savak. Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. I was kind of hoping I didn't mess that up. Tried my best. Big shout out to Mikey Tech Review. Thanks for the super chat, homie. Always kind and generous and We appreciate that very much. Thank you for that. That opens up the floodgates. Yes, indeed. I do see my mod squad is here. If you see a big blue wrench, blue name, those are the ones you need to be aware of. Step out of line, potty mouth, you know. Keeping things clean for me are the mods. So hashtag mod squad, hashtag replay crew for those of you watching this in the live, watching this on replay, hashtag 2live crew for you, those of you watching live. Hashtag ravioli gang if you're watching while you're eating dinner or you're hungry or something along those lines. I know it's like dinner time for some, depending on where you are in this world, right? So I do see a lot of friendly faces and good people here. Sean, Brennan, Bobby, I see you guys. Luis, Info Assistant Ram, John, I see you. DJ Luna Star, thanks for stopping by and hanging out. Carter, Kimon, good to have you all as well. Mav is here. Gina's here. Appreciate you guys for stopping by. Vincent is in the house. Kimberly is here as well. And the homie Carlos is here holding it down. Appreciate you. Max is here as well. You guys are amazing. Thanks for stopping by. Hey, Jim. Good to see you. Yeah, Barry, what up? Good to see you as well. All right, so look. I'm going to be doing the podcast thing. So the way that today's show is going to work, video on, what is up, y'all? I hope my audio is good, right? It's a podcast. The audio should be good. So hopefully that is the case. All right, so anyways, what I'll do is I'm going to go ahead and do like the audio thing, right? So a segment of the show that I upload to the audio-only version of the podcast, I'll let you guys know when I'm starting that. I will still refer over to the live chat, you know, and stuff like that. So, yeah, we got 2 topics, right? And I'm going to get to those things, and we'll go ahead and get started with that now. And, of course, the discourse in the live chat is always appreciated. So go ahead and do your thing. Thanks, John. Holy crap, only a face a mother could love. Thanks, Gene. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Audio and video good. All right, let's go ahead and get started then, okay? All right, so thanks for the super chat again, Mikey. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started, shall we? Bam. Let's try this again. It didn't work. Okay, let's reload. And now. All right, so the audio-only version of the podcast along with the YouTube live. Let's go ahead and get started. We've got 2 topics tonight that we're going to go over. The first being Dish Wireless, Dish Network, essentially. I'd also like to say that, you know, not only is that an interesting topic, and it is wireless networking, so it's a big part of what we do here with the YouTube channel and on the podcast, but I think also smartphone news is important as well. So we're going to be talking about the Google Pixel 4a, which had a launch date today. Although it is not available, it is available for pre-order, and you can get your hands on it as soon as it does become available. I've got some information on that phone where I kind of see it and how I kind of got my first impressions of it. And then, of course, this deal that Dish Wireless has, Dish Network. So thank you, Jar Cohen, for the super chat, and thank you, Mikey Tech Reviews, with another donation. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go ahead and get started with this show, shall we? All right, the first piece of news. This one is coming out of Dish Wireless, Dish Network. So in the past few weeks, I've been doing my best to try to find information on Dish Network and how they're going to be building their new network. In my personal opinion, I kind of like it this way. When a carrier is quiet, I actually think that's a good thing, because you got trade secrets, you got business plans, you don't always want to let everybody know what you're doing. It kind of makes sense from a business standpoint. The brother Tennis Solid is here. Good to see you, as well as Alex. What's going on, guys? Good to have you. I see you, Ray. Some carriers are more compelled to announce things and be very vocal and loud about stuff. T-Mobile is a very vocal and demonstrative carrier. Verizon's a little bit more quiet. Not like, in the dark type of quiet, as well as AT&T. They're relatively calm and they don't really say too much until things are done. Right? So there's different ways to promote your business and disclose information. Dish has been very hush about what they're doing with building out their wireless network. For now, they're really just an MVNO, right? They're just an MVNO of T-Mobile, and they've got that deal for about 7 years. But in the meantime, they actually are required to build out a 5G network. It's going to be their business model. It's part of their business plan. The DOJ concessions and the FCC requirements are there for them to have to do it. And now we're starting to get information, all types of info. I had a video this morning discussing it. We did a follow-up video as well, in which we were discussing, what they did with 2 cows. And I'm not even joking, guys and gals out there. Literally, the business that they did a deal with is pronounced 2 cows. So, somebody says I'm buffering. Let me know if we're done buffering. Okay, so somebody says we got a buffering issue. Let me know if it's cleared up. Yeah, technology is not always perfect. Yeah, let me know if we're good. Let me know if we're back on track here. Yeah. Oh, no buffering? So we're okay? All right. Was buffering, but it clears. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's proceed. Okay, we're done buffering. Good. Glad to hear it. All right, so in terms of the 2 pieces of news today, the first one this morning was interesting only because I think it gave us really important insight on what Dish is going to want to do in terms of their build out. So they selected VMware for its cloud-based standalone 5G network, and in this operation it's going to be 100% software based. It's going to be a multi-vendor approach, so any manufacturer, vendor of hardware or software can get involved. We know that they have a deal in place with Mavenir, LTO Star as well, Fujitsu. 100% cloud native based Open RAN architecture. What this is going to allow Dish to be able to do is to be very versatile, adaptable, and meet the demands and the needs of however they decide to run their business. In terms of network slicing, operating the core, they're going to have public and private network cabinets, edge computing, automation, security, surveillance, tiered access. All this can be done. VMware is also going to provide. VMware is also going to provide their IT and their security-based solutions. So quite a deal for VMware. Really, really nice. Piece by piece, we're starting to see more of what Dish is starting to do. They're motivated, obviously, and compelled to build out a solid network. They want to make money, right? They want to be profitable. There's a multi-billion-dollar penalty involved with the United States Treasury, so they don't want to be heavily fined when they can operate a good business. So I understand, to me, I see them as very motivated to succeed. Later on in the day, we get this announcement that as of, I believe, Saturday, which I didn't catch any wind of this until this morning, they have this partnership that they just formed with 2 cows. And I'm not joking. It's spelled Tucons, but it is pronounced 2 cows. As in, like, not one, but 2 that moo. 2 cows. Obviously, Dish is motivated to compete. We know they're starting to kind of put together their network plans. Well, now, with this 2 cows deal, they're starting to compile assets as well. So, in this acquisition or this deal, Dish is also going to be receiving about 272,000 wireless subscribers from the Ting Mobile business. For those of you that are aware of like MVNOs and prepaid wireless networking, it's pretty simple. Every prepaid MVNO essentially rents network access from the large MNOs, the mobile network operators. So Verizon, AT&T, formerly Sprint, and the current T-Mobile, right? Ting was a wireless network operator that offered service through two carriers, T-Mobile and Sprint. Well, that consolidated to T-Mobile and Sprint becoming just the T-Mobile. And then they just recently, I think earlier this year, maybe around January or February, they signed a deal with Verizon. So that's all wrapped up in this. Customers on Ting can expect things to pretty much be the same. Their rates are not going to change. The customer service is not going to change. I'm expecting most of the employees to be doing their thing as they normally would. It's just going to be under a new ownership. And the network access is going to be unchanged. I don't think anything's going to happen with their business model or their business plan. There is some FTTP in some markets that's involved in the assets here. And there's also some fixed fiber internet access involved. DNS market involvement as well. And then, of course, you have the MVNO operations. This clearly was a slam dunk for Dish. I don't know when this became, something that they explored. I don't know how long it took them to make this happen. But I'm kind of glad they did it. Because this is not like a large merger or a huge acquisition. But what it does is it gives Dish multiple assets. What I mean by that is you get wireless subscribers, you get network access additionally, you have assets in the areas of fiber, and then the deal with Tucson is that this is a technology partnership, specifically as an MSE, what's known as Mobile Services Enabler, domain registration, fiber to home solutions. And then you're also going to get this billing, accounts, activations, provisionings. All that can be done through Tucson, whom, by the way, actually have a very rich history of entrepreneurship and innovation in MVNO solutions. So from the Ting side, you get wireless subscribers, you get a relationship with Verizon, and of course they do have a pre-existing relationship with T-Mobile. You have a potential for millimeter wave access and 5G. I could definitely see the potential for a spectrum agreement between Dish and Verizon. If not over the course of long term, at least in the short term. Because Verizon is in a very tough position right now when it comes to spectrum. They're not going to be able to do much within the next year or so. This would really help if they were to get something going with Dish. Maybe this opens the door for that. Maybe it brings the discussions to the table. I mean, think about it. Dish holds as much spectrum as Verizon, and as much as the old T-Mobile did. They hold AWS, they hold PCS, they hold low, mid-band. They got it all. They even have some millimeter wave. Not much, but they have some, which could be almost immediately utilized for 4G LTE and 5G as they build out their standalone 5G network. Big shout out to Jamaal. Thank you for the super chat, brother. Appreciate you very much, and thank you for that donation. Got the thumbs up sticker. Yeah. So I look at this Tucson deal twofold. Number one, you've got assets. Assets in the form of wireless customers, assets in the form of fiber optic, and then assets in the form of a business partnership that is going to help you streamline and effectively have billing, accounting, activations, and provisionings all under one roof. So that's the asset side. Well, what about the potential of maybe getting to the table with Verizon and building some form of a leasing spectrum deal? I think that offers as much potential as even the assets, in my opinion. This is not a groundbreaking deal. This is not going to shake the wireless industry. This is just a tip of the iceberg. It's another indicator. And Siova, thank you for the super chat, brother. Pulling up at the mid-range coat. Yeah. Gene, thank you for your super chat as well. Didn't Two Cows own Ting? Yes, exactly. And that's why all this is kind of wrapped up in there. I'm telling you guys, I really do think this is a good deal for them. I'm very happy to see it. In my personal opinion, I like what I'm seeing. Dish seems active. You know, just because they're not actively tweeting about it, just because they're not blaring it on a megaphone, doesn't mean that things aren't happening behind closed doors. Caleb, if you're here, I like what I'm seeing. I know you don't necessarily, feel good about Charlie Ergen and Dish and all of that, but in my opinion, things are starting to come together. There's some good deals going on, and I actually think something good is happening here. Even if you don't necessarily like the prospects of Dish long term, at least you can agree they're starting to shake and move. Right, Caleb? They're starting to shake and move. All right. So that's the news from like the last 12 or 24 hours, I would say, about Dish. So a lot going on. Now, of course, they still have their Boost Mobile operations going on. So they've got Boost Mobile. This also does improve their presence in retail stores. Target, Best Buy, Walmart, which is, where their Boost Mobile stores are found. That gives them a retail presence, right? So Dish is in some places, right? So regardless of how you feel about Charlie Ergen and, Dish Network, we can at least say that we're starting to see some, some groundwork, a framework, a foundation of something, right? So I'm very happy to see that. And of course, these are things we'll be updating as more news does come out. We got 88 in the live. Thank you all for being here. Those, watching this in the live on the YouTube side, and those watching it on the replay, and those on the audio-only podcast. All right, next story. Hey, William, good to see you. Barry, good to see you as well. Carter, appreciate the commentary. I'm just, kind of reading some of your guys' live chat messages there, and I could see some of it. Awesome. Good. I see you guys are some people are impressed. Some people are happy to see that stuff is going on. See some people talking about QCI and quality of service. Yeah, Ting's a little bit low on the totem pole. So, yeah. All right. So, the first, 20 or so minutes was dedicated to this Dish story with Two Cows, right? The last segment of the show, we're going to talk Google phones. I just did a video last night about the Google phone. It's the Google Pixel 4a. All right. The Google Pixel 4a had its mini launch event today. Obviously, with the pandemic, there's only so much you could do, right? So they did their little launch thing. It's been delayed. This thing probably should have been out in April or May even. But nothing was happening in April and May, right? We had a quarantine. Nothing was going on. No shaking. Pushed back all the way to today, essentially. I knew something was going on because I actually got accepted into Team Pixel or whatever that thing is called, that Google program. I got the invitation by email. I accepted the invitation, and then that was about 2 weeks ago. It was, I think, July 21st or something. So I knew that it was around the corner, or else why would they have done that, right? So in looking at this phone and how it's played out, this phone should have already come out, and it's evident by its specifications, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that, okay? So I just want to say this. If you're looking at a mid-range device and you're not worried about a future-proof device, and I mean by future-proof, I mean hardware. If your needs are mid-range or entry-level, this is a great deal. This phone is legit. But if you are the type of person that likes to be on the cutting edge, if you are the type of person that wants to have, cellular connectivity that is, going to be future-proof for at least 1 or 2 years, possibly even 3 years. That's possible, I guess. This is not the phone for you. I'm going to go through all the specs. I'm going to give you guys my take. I'll tell you what I like and don't like. And I'm going to tell you if this is a buy or if this is more of a leave it. And if I'm going to buy it, I'll let you guys know. All right, so let me start first with some specifications. All right. First things first, this is a Google Pixel 4a. There is no XL model. That is issue number one. The fact that there is no extra large or, you know, I don't know, we'll call it the phablet sized, right? So the larger device. Only the regular one, okay, the standard size. It's a 5.8-inch display. It's got a cutout hole in it for the selfie camera. It is HDR support on the display. Full HD, 1080p. 443 pixels per inch for those of you out there that are into that. A 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio. So it follows the more modern design language. It's got an always-on display, a now playing feature. So that's what you need to know there. I believe it is a 60 hertz display. Not that newfangled 90 hertz, 120 hertz, whatever else, right? So remember, this phone is aimed for entry-level, mid-range type customers. Battery capacity is 3,140 milliamps. That's good. That is an upgrade from the last Google Pixel 3a, which I think was like well under 3,000. It was either like 27 or 2,800 milliamp hours. So that's a nice bump. Good job, Google. That's an improvement. I actually would have liked to have seen this a little bit larger. I actually would have liked to have seen it at about a 3,500, or if you wanted to be, you know, really ambitious, a 4,000 milliamp hour battery would have been amazing. Now, it's not a 5G phone, and I'll talk more about that later, so that does help that it doesn't need the additional battery capacity, because obviously at this point in time with 5G technologies, battery life is going to be a sacrifice. So the fact that it's LTE only, maybe that 3,100, 3,140 milliamp hour battery is just enough to get you through a day with light usage. With more of like your moderate usage to high capacity users, this may not hold up past dinner time, honestly. But it is an improvement from last year's model. All right, we got 6 gigs of RAM. Good upgrade. I believe the last generation was 4 gigs. 128 gigs of storage. Yes, Google, very good. We cannot continue selling small amount of storage on devices that don't have expandable storage. If this phone would have had 64 gigs, it would have been a no-go for me right off the rip. 128 gig storage in 2020 is a standard, in my opinion, especially if you don't have expandability. Qualcomm Snapdragon 730. It's a 64-bit octa-core processor, Adreno 618 GPU, Titan M security module to keep things locked down. My decision in using a processor on a mid-ranger, nice job, Google. A 730 is a good way to go. An improvement from last year's model, which was a Qualcomm Snapdragon 670. So this will be a little bit faster. It'll be a little bit stronger. It might be better at multitasking, video rendering. Who knows, right? I just think that the fact that it's a 7 series is an upgrade. So I think they did a good job there. Thank you for the super chat, Kathy. Appreciate you. You got the fox, the smiling fox. Thank you for that. Single rear camera. Single front camera. The rear camera is doing 1080p video at 30 frames, 60 frames, and 120 frames. 720p at 30, 60, and 240 frames. Pretty nice. Very, very nice. Let's see here. We got a proximity sensor, ambient light, accelerometer, gyrometer, so whatever. That's pretty standard. USB-C, 18-watt adapter with USB power delivery 2.0. Well, that's good. 18 watts power delivery, that's a standard. Love it. Moving on. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Thank you, Gene, for the super chat. Got the coffee. Appreciate that. This has actually become like a feature that I need. Siova, I love the 240 frames per second. That should be awesome, right? Get you that slow-mo. The 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Why it is not present in flagships, horrible. But it's in mid-rangers and entry-level phones, and I'm glad to see it. Nice job having the headphone jack. If you are looking for a mid-range phone with a headphone jack, this is a candidate. Let's talk SIM technology. Single nano SIM and eSIM. Nicely done, Google. Moving the way of the eSIM. That means you could contact your wireless service provider, have them provision an eSIM, and you don't even need a physical SIM if you don't want one. I highly recommend you trying one. eSIMs are great. All right, let's talk media and audio. Stereo speakers, 2 microphones. Now look, ideally you want a phone with actually multiple microphones. Mikey Tech Reviews, thank you for your super chat. Got the fist bump. Thanks, man. Appreciate you. Stereo speakers are great. The 2 microphones is kind of it's a bit of a compromise. A lot of the flagships have 3 or 4 microphones, so that seems like one of those things where it's a bit of a cost cutting there. Noise suppression is good, right? Improve the quality. Let's talk wireless and location services. Wi-Fi 2.4, 5 gigahertz, 2x2 MIMO technology, Bluetooth 5.1. Everything looks pretty standard. Compatible with Google Cast, all that good stuff. All right, let's talk wireless networks, shall we? This is the SMT special right here. The reason I say this is the SMT special is because that's what we do here. All about cellular connectivity. I'm going to give you guys the specs and then I'm going to tell you what I think. Up to 3 carrier aggregation on the downlink, 2x2 MIMO. Not good. Not good. I'm going to tell you why this is not good. The phone only has 3 carrier aggregation. That's good enough for T-Mobile. That's good enough for Sprint, which is now, T-Mobile. But that's not good enough for AT&T users, and that's not good enough for Verizon. Verizon uses 4-component carrier aggregation. Currently, AT&T is using 5 carrier aggregation and soon to have 7 carrier aggregation. And probably about a year from now, possibly 10 carrier aggregation. That means that the network capability of this phone is already sadly outdated. So if you are a cellular snob, like myself, and some of you out there, I'm sure you are, this phone is not future-proof when it comes to cellular. It's Category 12 for LTE. Flagships using the Qualcomm Snapdragon 865 are currently Category 22. This thing will only do 600 megabits per second on the downlink. And then on the uplink, it'll only do 75. We already have wireless networks from our wireless service providers that can do more than 75 megabits on the upload. So unfortunately, when it comes to LTE and the cellular connectivity, this is not a go. Let's look at the LTE bands. 2, 4, 5, 12, 13, 14, 17, 25, 26, 28, 29, 30, 41, 66, 71. That means it's fully LTE compatible with T-Mobile, Verizon, and AT&T, and whatever Dish decides to do at a later time. No 5G compatibility here. And if you look at those compatibilities also, there's no band 46 and there's no band 48. This phone is not CBRS or C-band ready. It's not compatible with 3.5 gigahertz or 3.7 gigahertz, which is the future of the next generation of networks. Troy, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it. He says the iPhone sucks. Sorry. That's funny. When it comes to cellular, there's a lot to be desired there. Anyways, this phone is, unfortunately, when it comes to cellular, going to be out of date and not up to speed, not up to market requirements. I cannot recommend this phone for users of AT&T because they'll be missing out on like 5GE and other advanced forms of LTE. It's not 5G compatible as well. It's not going to be able to fully take advantage of Verizon as well because Verizon does 4-component carrier aggregation. For T-Mobile, sure. But again, there's some limitations for the cellular. If you're not a cellular buff, if you're not a network tech enthusiast, and these aren't deal breakers, then disregard my entire cellular spiel there. All right. The colors, 1, just black. So that's an important thing. Now, there's a lot of stuff that this phone is going to offer that sweetens the pot. For example, 3 months of Google One storage for free. 3 months of YouTube Premium for free. That's awesome. Those are great perks. In my opinion, very, very nice. You can actually buy this thing, and this is obviously one of the best features about it. This thing is going to cost $349. That is a freaking amazing deal. The iPhone is selling for $399, the iPhone SE 2020. This thing's beating it by $50. So if you prefer Android over iOS, and you want a phone that's going to receive updates for the next 3 years and have software support and be secure and have a very nice operating system experience and have excellent cameras and have pretty much upgraded everything from last year's model, this thing's giving it to you. If you buy it from Verizon, it's $379. If you buy it from Google, it's $349. If you buy it from Google Feye, it's $349. They're also doing trade-in programs. I actually just checked my Google Pixel 3 XL on trade-in. They're offering me $180. So just to give you an idea of what type of trade-ins they're giving. Anyways, if you're not into the cellular limitations of this phone, like that doesn't faze you, that doesn't bother you, it's not make or break, this phone is one of the few mid-rangers I can recommend because of that 3-year support, because of the operating system, because of the camera. The performance is great. I don't know about video. The video left a lot to be desired last year. I do like the photography, though. Second to none. Hey, Big Ron, appreciate the hippo backwards hat sticker. Appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you for that. Very kind of you. Appreciate it very, very much. This phone is a go if you don't have high network demands. Like I said, if it's meager, entry level, just regular cellular connectivity, this probably fits the bill just fine. But if you're into having future-proof technologies, future-proof smartphones and hardware, this is not it. Overall, I think the iPhone SE 2020 is a better purchase. At $399, I know it's $50 more, but it's probably going to be supported a little bit longer, and the video is going to be better, and obviously the app support is really nice on iOS and stuff like that. But if you want to be on the Android side and get something similar to the iPhone SE 2020, this is the way to go. Fingerprint scanner on the back, security. There's a lot to like here. But not the cellular. Definitely not the cellular. So, yeah, that wraps up this edition of the audio-only podcast. Thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you on the next show. All right, and for those of you here on the YouTube side, let's keep this conversation going, shall we? Yeah. All right. In looking at some of your comments, I'm reading through some of these. Sean says a perfect second line. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. I think this is a great second line. In fact, Google Fi, maybe Visible, some form of an MVNO and prepaid. It's a great device. You're getting the extended, software support. A really, really good photo shooter. Absolutely. Love it. I think there's a lot of potential here. $349. So affordable, right? Yeah. Yeah, the Pixel 4a is definitely something I would recommend. If you're okay taking a backseat to the cellular connectivity. That's not there. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Pixel 4a 5G at a later time. That's coming down the pipeline. We don't have any details. That has not made it to the FCC. I don't even know what it's going to be compatible with, honestly. Paul, thank you for the super chat. Smiley face with the $sign eyes. Appreciate you. Nick, there's too much unknown about the iPhone 12. I know that we're expecting, what, like 3 or 4 models, though? So, yeah, I don't know. Price is good. The features are good for the price. There's value there. It's a good proposition for some of you out there. And think about those perks. The 3 months of Google One storage, YouTube Premium. I like it. The specs are good. Increased battery, more RAM, increased storage. There's a lot to like there. What I want to know from you guys in the live is who's buying it? Who's buying the Google Pixel 4a? Who's going to spend the $349 and go and get this thing? And if you are going to buy it, how are you buying it? Are you going to buy it from Verizon? Are you going to buy it from T-Mobile? I don't know if AT&T is going to sell it. I would assume T-Mobile is. I know Verizon is. In fact, you could pre-order it from Verizon or Google. Are you going to finance it? Are you going to pay for it up front? Let me know what you guys think in the live chat of how you're going to approach it. If you're not going to buy it, you know, maybe the cellular concerns are an issue to you. The LG Velvet, John? Oh, man. LG can't get right, man. LG can't get right, unfortunately. Yeah. LG, their marketing, their software, their presence in retail, it's just, things just aren't working out for them. John says, I want to buy it, but I don't need it. Pete says, I'm getting a Pixel 5. I might dip if there's an offer at T-Mobile for other lines. Yeah, like what if they offered it on some kind of a special, right? John would buy it unlocked. Rayz says, when the 4a 5G drops, I will make my buy then. Okay, so yeah, I hear you on that, man. I think the 4a 5G coming in at $499, which is the rumor, and the cost, to me, I think that's probably more future-proof and a better option. But, I mean, you're going to be paying an additional $150 for that, so, yeah. Ricky says, I ain't buying no phone till it has an X60 modem in it. See, Ricky's like me. Future-proof all things, right? Always. I don't want to buy something, and then it's outdated in 5 or 6 months. That sucks. You know what I mean? So I hear you, Rick. And then it's going to have, you know, the X60 modem is it's going to revolutionize wireless. Multi-carrier aggregation from low, mid, and millimeter wave 5G. So, yeah, I agree with you. Info Assistant says Google loves Verizon. Every phone will always be there first. Well, the Google phones, that's true. But otherwise, I don't really think that's the case. I know they did have an exclusive to the Moto Edge Plus this year as well. But, yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the only ones. You guys are funny in the live chat. They need more cutting-edge tech cut with the conservative design BS. Yeah, that's something that Google hasn't been able to do. They're not willing to go out and go out on a limb when it comes to that. Yeah, Google said $499, dude. Yeah, Austin. Yeah, dude. Waiting for the announcement in a day or two. What are we talking about, Ram? Any phone announcement? John says, I used to show the Pixel phones when I worked at Verizon. Yeah. Yeah, they've always had a good relationship with Google since the first Google phone, actually. Yeah. I feel T-Mobile will do a large trade-in deal like they did with the A71 5G just to get people on 5G. Probably. Josh says, wish the Moto Edge Plus was on AT&T. And the fact that it's missing band 14, Josh, that's a no-go. Derek says, do the pom-pom dance. No, thanks. Pete says, I'd be interested in the X60 modems in my phones if my market would take advantage of them in the next 2.5 years. That's a legitimate concern, Pete. I agree. Like, if you live in rural America, does it matter if you have an X60 modem? I guess it depends on a couple of things. How accelerated will 5G builds be? Like, how soon before, a bunch of this new CBRS and C-band gets out there? So, totally agree with you, Pete. There's going to be a lot of people who are tech savvy, but also are realistic, and they say, why should I upgrade to the, most flagship end device, and I don't have those networks available to me 90% of the time? T-Mobile's network news announcement, probably on earnings release day. When is earnings release day? Is it tomorrow or is it the 6th? I feel like it's going to be the 6th, right? Thursday. They seem to do their thing on Thursdays. Maybe. I don't know. Ricky says the X60 modem is going to blow your minds with speeds. Totally agree. That carrier aggregation with the millimeter wave and mid-band should be amazing. I can't wait to get a hold of a device and a network that can do that. Very excited. It will for AT&T when AirGate comes out. True. Michael, thank you for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate you so much. That's a very nice gesture. We appreciate the super chats. Thank you for the donation. No comments or questions, just a dono. All right, Ram. So yeah, Thursday. Awesome. Let's see here. Yes, the 6th. Okay, got it. Pete says, if you live in rural and you don't go into areas where the features of the X60 are useful, no point in getting it. Might as well wait till you upgrade and get the X70. Possibly. So that would put you at like a 2022 upgrade, especially if you upgraded last year. That might not be a bad time. What's up, Maximus? Good to see you. The 6th will know how bad T-Mobile messed up. Austin says the FCC docs show 4x4 MIMO on the 4A. I don't know why Google removed it. Huh. Interesting. We should get confirmation on that. We'll look into that. They'll find a way to spin it positively. It's all smoke and mirrors. Well, I mean, the merger's a big deal, right? I will review at least one iPhone 12. I will review at least one. I really hope it doesn't have an Intel chip. It looks like all directions are pointing towards the X60 modem, so Qualcomm based. We shall see. Truckers should use Verizon. Yeah, to throw that in there. Nice. All right. Awesome. Well, I usually like to keep my podcast between, like 40 and 50 or so minutes. So let's go ahead and wrap things up. Let's give some special thanks. Big shout out to all of those out there that donated, all of the SMT patrons, all of those that watch this in the live, hashtag 2LiveCrew. For those of you that watch this on replay, hashtag replay crew. For those of you that watch this while you were hungry or you were eating dinner, hashtag ravioli gang. Big shout out to the mod squad. You guys know who you are. Big Blue Wrenches, Blue Names. Thank you guys for holding it down for me. Welcome Drew to the Patreon page, as well as the Venmo donation from Sivak. I hope I said that right. Thank you so much for that Venmo donation. You guys are amazing. Austin, good to see you. He says the iPhone 11 modem isn't much better than the Pixel 4a modem. That ain't right. Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think it's that much of an upgrade, honestly. Or a downgrade, I should say. I do want to just mention a couple of things. For those of you that are maybe new, your first time here, consider subscribing and activating the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. Also, I would like to let you guys know that we do have the audio-only podcast for those of you just coming in. If you don't like the YouTube format, you can do so. We're on all your favorite podcast platforms. All the links for all the community items are down in the description box. The Twitter handle, we do Periscope Lives, all that good stuff. It's all there. Let's go ahead and just show you what it looks like, what it takes to subscribe. There it is, the page. Subscribe if you haven't. Activate the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. And, of course, check out the Patreon page. Everybody loves the SMT YouTube channel. Take your network tech enthusiasm to the next level. Become a patron for as little as $1 donation. And we do have the Sneed Army tier for a $5 donation. Extra videos, exclusive videos, early access, extra podcasts that are exclusive to Patreon. Check it out. And that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching the SMT podcast. You guys are amazing. I appreciate your support. I hope you enjoyed the show, and we do hope to see you on the next one. Y'all take it easy. Be safe. Be healthy. Get health. Get wealth. And we'll see you on the next one. Peace. Yeah.